Welcome, dear learners, to the Rapid Roundup session on Managerial Economics. In this session, we will dive deep into the realm of managerial economics and we will unravel the mysteries of demand and supply, production and cost analysis, market structures, pricing strategies, and a few other fundamental concepts. If you are new to this channel, I am Anu, your guide and facilitator for this course. I run a small but growing YouTube channel named Anu's Classroom, which is aimed at helping IGNOU students overcome the limitations of distance learning by providing you guys with quality content. So my goal here is to assist you in not only passing your exams with good grades, but also understanding the concepts thoroughly to become better managers. And as we navigate through the intricacies of managerial economics, we shall gain valuable insights into how businesses operate in a dynamic and ever-changing economic environment. Together, we will learn how to analyze market trends, anticipate consumer behavior, optimize our production process, and devise pricing strategies which will maximize profitability and competitiveness. So let us embark on this journey together, fueled by curiosity, determination, and a passion for learning. I am so excited to accompany you on this transformative educational experience, and I am confident that together we will be emerging as savvy decision makers who are ready to conquer the complexities of the business world. As we start our journey through IGNOU's MMPC 10 course, let me provide you with a brief overview of what lies ahead for us. So this course is structured into 4 blocks encompassing a total of 13 units that are carefully designed to cover essential aspects of managerial decision making. So in the first block, Introduction to Managerial Economics, we will be laying our groundwork by delving into the foundational concepts of managerial economics. So here we will explore the scope of managerial economics. We will try to unravel the complexities of the firm, master fundamental concepts and techniques that are crucial for effective decision making. Transitioning into the second block, we will delve into the demand and revenue analysis. And throughout this block, we will examine demand concepts in detail, explore demand elasticity, learn the art of demand estimation and forecasting. So these skills are vital for anticipating the market trends and understanding consumer behavior. Moving on to the third block, we will dive deep into production and cost analysis. So within this block, we will unravel the intricacies of the production function, analyze short-run and long-run cost structures, and gain valuable insights into optimizing production process for maximum efficiency and profitability. Finally, in the fourth block, we will explore pricing decisions, which is a critical component for managerial economics. From understanding market structures and barriers to entry to mastering pricing strategies tailored to different market conditions, we will learn how to set prices which not only maximize our profitability but also maintain our competitiveness in the market. So ultimately, the knowledge and skills that we will be acquiring from this course will truly be indispensable for any kind of strategic decision making, resource allocation, market analysis, forecasting, and devising effective pricing strategies in your roles. I'm thrilled to embark on this journey alongside you, and I'm confident that together we will be emerging with a deeper understanding of managerial economics and its profound impact on our organization's success and profitability. Now, before we proceed further into our discussions, I kindly ask you to please take a moment and ensure that you have subscribed to the channel and also, most importantly, enabled the notifications, because by doing so, you will be helping my channel grow, but that is not why I ask you, okay? The reason why I ask you to specifically make sure that you have enabled notifications is so that you can ensure that you will never miss an update from Anu's Classroom. And in this way, you can fully utilize all the resources which I provide to support your journey towards earning your postgraduate degree from IGNOU. Feel free to leave your comments, questions or suggestions also below in the comment section. I'm here to help you out, so don't hesitate to ask anything. But just remember, please, it's a humble request, keep your comments professional like you would in your future managerial role. In simple terms, managerial economics, it is all about using economic ideas to make smart business decisions. So it combines all the economic principles with the business practices and helps managers make decisions and plan strategies. So it covers important topics like understanding our demand, assessing the production costs, setting prices, evaluating profits, and analyzing competition. So let us try to break down some of the key concepts. So the first concept which I want to introduce to you is the concept of scarcity and opportunity cost. So scarcity, what is it? Limited resources. So we all know, right? Resources are limited, but people's wants are endless. So this is one of the key concepts of economics. Now, when resources are limited and our wants are endless, it means we will have to make choices and consider what we will be giving up when we choose one option over the other. And that is where opportunity cost comes in. Like, for example, say you have 100 rupees with you and nothing more, nothing less, just 100 rupees. So, with that 100 rupees, say either you can go and get yourself a nice, what, some one Domino's pizza, okay, one small Domino's pizza. I think it is 99 rupees or something, right? Or you can go to a nearby theater and watch the latest movie. So these are two wants that you have, but your resource, that is money, is scarce. It is only 100 rupees. Now, if you choose movie over pizza, you will miss out on pizza, right? Because you only have 100 rupees. You don't have 200 rupees to spend on both the things. You only have 100 rupees. If you choose cinema over pizza, you will miss out on pizza. If you choose pizza over cinema, you will miss out on the cinema. So that is opportunity cost. So what are you giving up over what are you choosing? The next concept that I want to introduce you is microeconomics and macroeconomics. Micro means what? Small, right? Macro is large. So microeconomics is how individuals and firms make decisions. Microeconomics is concerned with how individuals, firms, the most basic units, how they make decisions. While macroeconomics is definitely the larger picture. Macro means large, right? Big. So macroeconomics focuses on the overall performance of economies. Both of these concepts, both these two branches of economics, they are important for us managers. Why? Because both of these are going to affect our business decisions. Managerial economics also gives us certain analytical tools which help us understand things like market demand and pricing strategy. So, and this helps us make informed decisions based on certain economic principles. But so, as I said, these analytical tools which are provided by managerial economics, they help us make better decisions. How? By using these concepts that is given by managerial economics, and by using the analytical tools, we can steer our organizations towards profitability and growth. That is how. Now, managerial economics, you must understand, is not just about economics. It is also relevant to other areas like accounting, finance, marketing, and operations management. And by integrating economic analysis with different business challenges, managers can come up with better solutions. So, in a nutshell, managerial economics helps managers to use the economic principles to navigate the complexities of the business world and make decisions which can lead our firms to success. So it is completely understandable if you are feeling a bit overwhelmed by all this talk about economics and all, especially if you are coming from a non-commerce background. You might be having a lot of worries in your head and how I'm going to wrap my head around all these things, right? Trust me, I know your feeling, because I have been there myself. When I was studying for my MBA in a prestigious, one of the prestigious universities in Kerala, where I joined for my MBA, managerial economics is one of the toughest subjects for me there, especially since I was coming from a science background, and it really felt like a whole new world to me. But I don't want you guys to go through the same struggles as I did. So I'm here trying to make sure that you get a good grasp of these concepts and trying my best. But if ever you feel like you need any more explanation on any particular topic, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments. I'll try my best to help you out in understanding as much as is possible from my end. Anyway, so now let us break down managerial economics a bit more. You have to understand this. Managerial economics will be dealing with a lot of theories, a lot of different principles and stuff like that. But this is not just theory. Okay, managerial economics is a very practical tool which can help us make smarter decisions in business. It is like a bridge between economics and the real world of business. So we will take the economic theories and principles that we are learning in this particular course, and we will be applying them to solve the everyday problems that we encounter while we are running a business. So one key concept that we have to know about is the incremental concept. So imagine you have different options, right? As I said, cinema or pizza, right? You have different options, and each of them comes with its own cost and benefits. So the incremental concept actually helps us compare the options of whether we have to go for a cinema or whether we have to buy a pizza by looking at the additional cost and revenue that each one of it brings. So it is all about making decisions which give us the most benefit for the least cost. Then there is the opportunity cost. So you can think of it as what if factor in decision making. Like what if I choose this instead of that? Then what are the benefits? What are the costs associated? That is opportunity cost. So whenever we choose one option over something else, that means we are giving up the next best alternative. We are giving up all the other alternatives. So understanding opportunity cost actually helps us make choices which make the most of our limited resources. Now, let us talk about what we will cover in managerial economics as a whole. So, we will be exploring topics like demand analysis, production cost, pricing strategies, market competition, and all in the coming sections. So, by diving into these areas, we will all be gaining insights into how businesses will operate or how businesses do operate and how we can navigate the complexities of the market. Before moving on to the next concepts, I want to touch on the concept of invisible hand, which is proposed by Adam Smith. So, the invisible hand concept explains how the individual self interest can actually unintentionally benefit the society as a whole. So, according to this invisible hand concept, a particular business's self interest, that is, for it to make money or for it to make wealth or gain market share, whatever things they are doing, ultimately will lead to the whole society's welfare and the what increase in the economic welfare of the entire society. That is called invisible hand. So it is a very powerful idea actually, which highlights the importance of free markets in driving the economic growth and prosperity of a country. Imagine a manager who is aimed with the principles of managerial economics. He can or she can assess whether resources are being allocated efficiently within a firm. So, this evaluation becomes crucial for ensuring that the company is performing optimally and also poised for long term growth. Moreover, managerial economics also equips managers to respond effectively to economic signals like changes in output prices or advancement in production technologies, which could lower the cost. So, at its core, managerial economics addresses the central problems of an economy. What are they? What to produce, how to produce it, and for whom are we producing it. So, these are the three fundamental or central problems of our economy. What should we produce? How should we produce it? How much should we produce it also? And whom are we producing it for? So, microeconomics explores these issues, these central problems, by focusing on the behavior of individual consumers, firms, and industries, providing insights that guide managerial decisions. So, to tackle the complexities of decision making, managerial economics offers a range of techniques from opportunity set analysis to regression analysis, optimization, and decision making under risk. Each tool is a valuable asset in the manager's toolkit, and by choosing the right technique based on the problem that is at hand, managers can make informed choices which align with the firm's objectives. Now, let us explore some of the key concepts. So, first, we need to know about the opportunity set. So, the opportunity set includes alternative feasible actions, while the variables represent factors which can change within a problem, and constants are those factors which remain fixed. Derivatives and partial derivatives, mathematical tools, they all help analyze how changes in one variable could impact others, which is all crucial for making optimal decisions. So, you need to know about what an opportunity set is, what variables are, what constants are, what derivatives are, right? So, and only if you know all these things about your problem or your particular situation can you seek optimization. Optimization is central to managerial economics. It is what guides managers in selecting the best course of action that is available from the various other options. So, regression analysis is something which helps uncover the relationship between variables and aids decision making. Whereas a decision making under risk will empower managers to navigate certain outcomes using tools like decision trees or expected value analysis. In uncertainty analysis, managerial economics will identify and quantify the sources of uncertainty, which is essential considerations in the decision making. So, as custodians of the economic insight, these economists they will analyze the data, identify the trends, and communicate recommendations clearly to empower decision makers across the organization. At its essence, the demand function actually serves as a mathematical guide leading us through the intricate relationship between consumer behavior and various factors that influence the consumer behavior. You can picture the demand function as a mathematical equation illustrating the complex interplay between quantity demanded of a product and the various factors shaping the consumer preferences. Okay, so demand function is nothing but the relationship between how much quantity of a particular product is actually being demanded with respect to the various factors that shape that demand. It could be income levels, it could be taste and preferences, it could be the economic condition, or whatever, right? There could be multiple choices. The demographics, the climate, anything and everything could influence the um, demand for a particular product. So these factors encompass the product's price, the consumer income, taste and preference, and even prices of complementary or substitute products. Now consider the determinants of demand. Those pivotal influences, these are those pivotal influences which sway the quantity of a product that consumers are willing as well as able to buy at any given price. So, from the product's own price to the consumer income, the taste and preference, and broader factors like, say, population growth, advertising, each of these determinants, each of these factors, they all play a crucial role in shaping the demand dynamics. Take the product price, for instance, which is a fundamental determinant following the law of demand. As prices rise, generally quantity demanded falls, and vice versa. Income is another key player, directly impacting the consumer's purchasing power. As income rises, so does the quantity demanded, reflecting the changes in consumers' lifestyle. And we can never overlook the taste and preferences, which are those intangible influences which are shaped by advertising, the trends, and the evolving consumer expectations. Additionally, the prices of complementary or substitute products can sway the demand patterns, showcasing the intricate web of consumer choices. So, why does understanding the demand matter to firms? Accurate demand insights are crucial for informed decision making, guiding pricing strategies, production planning, and marketing efforts. Moreover, they empower firms to anticipate future demand trends, adapting and thriving in a dynamic market landscape. Now, let us discuss movements along the shifts and in the along and sorry. Now, let us discuss the movements along and shifts in the demand curve. A change in price in for a particular product, it will trigger a movement along the demand curve, right? We all said just now a price change is going to impact our demand. So demand curve is nothing but the relationship, a graphical representation of the quantity demanded with the various factors. So let us take for example the demand with respect to price. So when the price increases or when the price decreases, there is going to be a movement along this demand curve, right? So that is the movement. But then when one of or more of the determinants of demand change, then there will be a shift. So these shifts signal broader changes in the consumer behavior as well as market dynamics. A quick note on inferior goods I want to share with you is, in a world where all income is spent on just two goods, okay, both cannot be inferior, correct? Why? Because an inferior good will see demand decrease as income rises. So if one good is inferior, then the other must be normal, where demand rises with income. Like for example, when you were earning, let's say 10,000 rupees, the shoe you wear or the watch you wear or the brand of shirt that you wear or even the phone that you have is going to be something different from when you get a salary of 50,000 or 1 lakh, right? Naturally that shift will be there. So why does that shift happen? That is because we consider those goods which we were not able to afford when we were having lower income to be luxury goods, which now we feel that as our income rises we are eligible to buy. So the previously cheap ones we consider as inferior, right? So that is inferior goods. So in conclusion, understanding the demand and its determinants is vital for navigating the complex landscape of our consumers' behaviors. And it is this understanding which empowers firms to make informed decisions, anticipate the market trends, and ultimately drive the business towards success. Now let us explore the concept of elasticity, which is again another fundamental idea in economics which helps us to grasp how one variable reacts to the changes in another variable. So in our economic toolbox, elasticity plays a vital role in understanding how demand and supply respond to the shifts in price, income, or any other factor for that matter. So first up, we have the price elasticity of demand. The price elasticity of demand measures how much quantity demanded of a product will change when its price changes. So if this elasticity exceeds 1, then we say that the demand is elastic, indicating that consumers are highly sensitive to this price changes. In simple terms, we can say a small price drop or rise can lead to a much larger increase or decrease in sales. When it comes to measuring elasticity along a demand curve, we have two methods: the arc price elasticity method and the point price elasticity method. The arc price elasticity method looks at changes between 2 points on the curve, while the point price elasticity method focuses on a specific point. Both gives us insight into how demand reacts to price changes. Now let us talk about the relationship between price elasticity and revenue. Okay, so when demand is elastic, lowering prices can actually increase our total revenue, while raising prices may lead to a drop. Conversely, with inelastic demand, raising prices might boost the revenue, while lowering prices could have the opposite effect. But elasticity is not just about the price. It extends to factors like income, cross price effects also. That is how our complementary or supplementary goods, their prices change or not or decrease. That is cross price elasticity. So that is also an important factor here. Income elasticity of demand will tell us how demand changes with the shift in consumer income, whereas cross price elasticity shows how demand for one good responds to changes in the prices of another. And what about the impact of advertising on demand? Advertising also has an impact on the demand, right? Effective advertising can boost our demand by raising awareness and showcasing product benefits. However, its effectiveness will depend on factors like demand elasticity, advertising quality, and market competition. So, in real world scenarios, elasticity measures are invaluable for decision making. Whether it is setting the right prices or predicting sales in response to income changes, these measures provide strategic insights into consumer behavior as well as market dynamics. So, in summary, elasticity is not just a concept but rather a very powerful tool that helps businesses thrive in dynamic markets. By understanding how demand reacts to different factors, firms can navigate towards sustainable growth as well as success. Demand estimation and forecasting is, I think, a very fascinating area where mathematical equations and statistical techniques and market insights, all of these, they come together to guide a business forward. So let us first start by understanding a demand function. Demand function is a mathematical tool which helps us navigate the consumer behavior. So this equation shows how quantity demanded changes with the various factors like price, income, preferences, all these things, giving us a clear view of our market's dynamics. Next, let us try to explore estimating demand using regression analysis. So this statistical method of regression analysis actually helps us uncover relationship between the quantity demanded and the various factors. By analyzing the data and interpreting the results, we can gain valuable insight into the demand landscape. To ensure the accuracy of our forecasts, we can rely on regression statistics like R squared or standard error of the estimate and all. These metrics will help us navigate through the uncertainty and giving us confidence in our predictions. Moving on, let us look at marketing approach to demand measurement. I know I'm skipping or moving fast through these concepts. The reason is because this is a rapid roundup. We won't have time to delve deeper into any one particular concept. So I want to give you an overall idea of all the important concepts, or rather all the topics that are discussed in this particular course, MMPC 10, like an overview. Okay, so that is why I am skipping through. If you need any particular thing to be explained in detail, do leave it in the comments below. I'll try my best to give you the video on that as much as possible before your term and examinations. All right. So now let us look at the marketing approach to demand measurement, which is again another holistic strategy which combines market research with the consumer insights. So armed with data on the preferences and behavior, we can forecast and capture our consumers' trends. But forecasting is not a one size fits all. Okay, it involves various techniques like time series analysis is there, exponential smoothing is there, quantitative and qualitative methods are there. Each method has its strengths as well as its weaknesses. So, and each of them offer different perspectives on the future trends. Ultimately, the demand estimation and forecasting are all about managing risk and steering businesses towards profitability. And by understanding consumer behavior, firms can avoid the pitfalls in production as well as pricing. While forecasting tools like regression analysis are powerful, they have their own limitations. Okay, they require a lot of data and they assume that the variables are all having a linear relationship. But on the other hand, we have the qualitative methods which offer much more flexibility, but these methods can be influenced by human biases. So, in conclusion, the demand estimation and forecasting both require a blend of both empirical rigor as well as a market intuition. And armed with our statistical knowledge and the strategic insights we gain, we can navigate the uncertainties of consumer demand and strive for success in the business world. Now let us dive into the world of production economics, where the theoretical models actually intersect with the real world decision making to optimize our outputs and reduce our cost. So at its cost, production economics or production function, it revolves around a mathematical representation of how inputs translate into outputs. That is, whether it is one input or many, this production function, it shows us the maximum output that we can achieve with a given set of resources, and therefore it guides managers in their pursuit of efficiency. So what is efficiency? Efficiency is not just about maximizing output but also about minimizing cost. So finding the right mix of inputs becomes crucial to striking this balance between output and cost, ensuring that every rupee we spend generates the highest possible return in our outputs. Understanding returns to scale further sheds light onto this relationship, revealing how output changes in response to proportional adjustments in inputs. So, whether it be increasing or decreasing or remaining constant, this knowledge empowers managers to scale their operations effectively. Which knowledge? The knowledge on the returns to scale. But production function is not just uniform. It comes in various forms, and each form of production function offers unique insights into the production process. Whether we are using linear method or quadratic method or Cobb-Douglas method, these models all help managers make informed decisions about resource allocation and production planning. Yet, theory alone can only take us so far. The true value of production economics or production function lies in its practical applications, like from day-to-day decisions on the input usage to long-term strategies for cost optimization. This production function serves as a roadmap for managers who are navigating the complexities of production. However, amidst the quest for efficiency, it is essential to heed the law of diminishing marginal returns. What is diminishing marginal returns? This is a principle which reminds us that every input has its limit. Okay, so adding more of a particular input, initially it may lead to some better output, but eventually it will lead to diminishing returns. Right? After a certain point, after a tipping point is reached, you cannot expect that any more input that you are going to give is going to give higher outputs. The output may remain constant or it may even lead to a decline. Okay, so that is the law of diminishing returns. In the realm of production economics, firms try to deal with a number of decisions, like from selecting the optimal input mix to analyzing cost curves and maximizing profits. Yet, in spite of this complexity, one goal always remains supreme. What is it? Efficiency. And by leveraging the insights that are obtained from our production function, production economics, firms can streamline their operations, reduce the waste, and strive for excellence. So, in conclusion, production economics is not just about equations and theories, but rather it is all about empowering managers to make well-informed decisions which propel their organizations towards success. And as we navigate the intricacies of the production process, let us remember that efficiency is not just a destination, but rather it is an ongoing journey towards excellence. Alright, let's break down the world of cost in an easy to understand way. So picture this. Cost is like building blocks which shape how a business operates. We have got different types of cost, and each type of cost plays a crucial role in decision making for us managers. Firstly, actual costs. These are the tangible expenses of a firm which it incurs in producing or acquiring goods and services. So these are like the real tangible expenses a business will face, like buying raw materials or paying employees their salary or covering their rent. All these things are the actual cost. On the other hand, we have opportunity cost. We have already learned what it is. It represents the value of the next best alternative we forgave when a particular action was taken. Right? Confused again? Think of it as the value of what you give up when you make a decision. It is like choosing between two paths and understanding what you miss out on by not taking the other path. The cost of the road not taken. Then we have explicit costs. These are direct payments that are made by the firm, like wages or rent, while implicit cost reflects the opportunity cost of using resources owned by the firm, like the owner's time or the firm's capital, such things. Accounting costs cover both explicit as well as implicit cost, while economic costs include all resources utilized in an action, including both explicit and implicit cost. Costs can also be classified as direct cost or indirect cost depending on whether they can be directly attributed to a specific product or a service. Total costs include all expenses that are incurred in producing a certain level of output, while average costs are calculated by dividing the total cost by the quantity that is produced. Marginal cost indicate the additional cost that is incurred by producing one more unit of output, which is an essential metric for decision making. Fixed costs remain constant regardless of output levels like rent or salaries, while variable costs fluctuate with output like raw material cost or labor expenses. Short run costs are those that can be adjusted quickly like labor or raw material cost, while long run costs involve investments like capital expenditure or research and development. Short run cost analysis provides valuable insights into a firm's production decision, helping to determine the optimal output levels, identifying cost effective production methods, and assessing the impact of input price changes on the production cost. Opportunity cost plays a significant role in managerial decision making, guiding choices towards maximizing profits by assessing the value of an alternative option. So, in conclusion, understanding the cost concepts empowers us managers to navigate the decision making complexities, optimize the production strategies, and enhance cost control measures. As we explore cost further, let us use these insights of what these various costs are to drive our organization's success. So now that we have got an idea on the basics of cost, let us dive into the world of long run cost functions first, which is a key piece of the puzzles for businesses that are looking to fine tune their operations and make awesome decisions. So long run cost functions. These are like the blueprint of how much it will cost to produce stuff when all your inputs like labor, materials, equipment are all up for the grab. They help firms figure out the best way to produce goods and services efficiently. One big thing that we will explore here is economies and diseconomies of scale. You might have come across this term quite often throughout your MBA, right? Economies of scale. Let us understand what this is. Economies of scale are like getting discounts for buying in bulk, right? As you produce more, your average cost will go down. That is economies of scale. But watch out for diseconomies of scale. So this is like hitting a tipping point where growing too big will lead to higher cost due to things like coordination issues or diminishing returns. Then there is the learning curve, which is a very neat way to visualize how getting more experience will lead to faster and more efficient production. As workers get better at what they do, the time it takes to make each unit will decrease. So economies of scope, this is again another concept in the long run cost analysis. It is like making the most of what you have got by producing different products with the same resource. And by sharing facilities or marketing efforts, businesses can save money and be more efficient. The cost function itself is like a master equation which shows how production costs change with different levels of output. Figuring out this equation involves looking at things like input prices, technology, and how big the production operation is. By estimating this function, firms can plan their strategies more effectively. Let's not forget about marginal cost functions also. They show how cost changes when you produce one more additional unit of the product. Finding the minimum efficient scale where producing more does not make costs go up much is key to staying competitive. But of course, there are challenges along the way like measurement errors or missing pieces of information and all. That is why using solid methods to figure out the cost functions is super important. In a nutshell, long run cost functions are like the roadmap to efficiency for businesses. And by understanding how costs change with different factors, firms can make smarter decisions and stay ahead of their game. Now let us dive into market structure, barriers to entry, pricing dynamics, and the strategic decision making which shapes the business landscape. So these concepts might seem a bit complex at first, but they are fundamental forces which guides everyday activities in the marketplace. So there is no way for us other than learning them. Picture a spectrum of market structures that range from perfect competition with many small firms that offer identical products to monopoly, where a single entity dominates without any close substitutes. So between these extremes, there's a monopolistic competition with differentiated products and oligopoly with a few dominant players. So these structures significantly influence how businesses operate, from pricing strategies to overall market behavior. What determines the nature of competition within these structures? Right? Factors like the number of firms or the product differentiation, ease of market entry, and information availability to the buyers and sellers, all these factors, they all play a crucial role. Understanding these dynamics empowers businesses to strategically navigate the competitive landscape. Entering a market is not always easy. There will be barriers, both natural barriers and artificial barriers. Both can impede newcomers. Whether it is economies of scale favoring large incumbents, large businesses, or legal obstacles like patents, these barriers present challenges for aspiring entrepreneurs. Now, let us talk about pricing. That is the intricate dance between your cost, the demand, and the competition. Businesses have to carefully analyze these factors to set prices that would attract customers while ensuring there is profitability. So, it is a delicate balancing act which demands a deep understanding of market dynamics. Moving on to strategic barriers of entry, imagine if you are a market leader. Imagine that you are a market leader who is aiming to maintain dominance in your sector. So, what are tactics you will employ? You will employ tactics like predatory pricing or exclusive contracts to discourage any potential rivals. So, it is like a strategic game where each move counts, right? So, businesses, especially pricing, is like a game of chess. Consider the differences between a paperback book and a hardcover book. The pricing disparity reflects not only the production cost but also consumer perceptions of value. Understanding these nuances is what helps businesses make informed pricing decisions. For customers considering a switch to a competitor, there is switching costs, that is, expenses incurred when transitioning to a new provider. Firms can leverage these costs to foster customer loyalty and reduce the churn. In conclusion, market structures, barriers to entry, and pricing strategies and strategic decision making are all interconnected elements of the business landscape. And by mastering these concepts, businesses can confidently navigate this competitive terrain and seize the opportunities and drive growth. A few years back, Monopoly was just a board game for me, nothing more. But that was before I joined an MBA program. So, after that, what is monopoly? What is this monopoly? What is this perfect competition? We need to know. So, in order to understand that, we need to first understand what these terms mean. What does monopoly mean? Right? What is competition? All these things before we can see how we can set prices for each of these scenarios. So, our aim in this particular unit is to understand what monopoly is, what perfect competition is, and how, once we know that, how can we set prices in these situations. So consider a local farmers market where multiple small scale farmers are selling identical fruits and vegetables. Each farmer offers the same produce at similar quality and price levels. So buyers can choose from various sellers and no single farmer has any control over the market price. For example, if one farmer tries to raise the price of their tomatoes, then buyers will easily switch to another seller who is offering tomatoes at a lower price. Right? So this is an example of a perfect competition. Imagine another scenario where there is only one internet service provider at your area, right? Because of the high infrastructure costs and regulatory barriers which are preventing competitors from entering the market. So then this internet service provider, he enjoys a monopoly over internet services in that particular area, giving it a significant pricing power. It can charge higher prices for internet plans. Why? Because consumers have no alternative providers to switch to. This is an example of a monopoly. So in a perfect competition scenario, there are many buyers and sellers who are dealing in homogeneous goods and services. Each participant is a price taker, meaning they have no control over the market price and they have to accept whatever is the price in the market, whatever is the market price as is given. Features of such perfect competition include low entry barriers, standardized products, perfect information availability. In this setup, firms operate optimally, where the marginal cost equals to the marginal revenue in the short run, and economic profits will actually dwindle to zero in the long run due to free entry and exit. On the flip side, monopoly. Monopoly arises when there is only a single entity that is dominating the market, controlling the supply of the product or the service with no close substitutes. Monopolies set prices to maximize profits as price makers. Barriers to entry like patents or economies of scale or limit competition, all these things are what allow monopolies to set prices above the marginal cost, resulting in reduced consumer surplus and potential deadweight loss. So these market structures implications go beyond theory to influence our real world managerial decisions also. In a perfectly competitive market, our firms would focus on cost minimization to stay competitive. Whereas if it is a monopoly, then they will aim to maximize profits through tactics like price discrimination or output restrictions. This understanding is what guides businesses, strategies, pricing decisions, and resource allocation. Even in today's dynamic business world, perfect competition and monopoly concepts do remain relevant, and they shed light on market behavior, pricing strategies, and competition's role in driving efficiency as well as innovation. Policymakers use this insight to create regulatory regulations promoting competition, protecting consumer welfare, and fostering economic growth. Have you encountered a monopoly or a perfect competition in your daily life? Look at the businesses that operate around you, okay, near your house or on your way to work, and try to find out if they are operating under monopoly or if they are operating under perfect competition. And don't forget, yes, very important, don't forget to mention whatever your findings are in the comment section too. Okay. So monopolistic competition and oligopolistic competition, and we have perfect competition. These are three different ways a market can be organized, and each type affects how companies will decide on prices and how they stay competitive in the long term. In monopolistic competition, many companies will be selling similar but slightly different products. Okay, we heard last a few minutes ago we were discussing about monopoly, where there was only one single player. This is a bit different here. Okay, this we are talking about monopolistic competition. Array, monopoly itself means there is no competition. Now, what you're telling a monopolistic competition, right? So that is why. Listen carefully. Monopolistic competition is companies are selling similar but slightly different products. Think about Apple versus Android. Okay, whether it is an Apple phone or whether it is an Oppo phone or a Samsung phone, they are all selling similar products, but they are all slightly different, right? So these companies can set their prices a bit higher than what it costs to make their products, at least for a while, right? Why? Because by after some time the other competitions are going to catch up on it, right? But because new companies can enter the market pretty easily, the competition will eventually even out, and companies can't keep charging higher prices always, so they will end up making just enough profit to cover their cost. Think of the fast food industry, where there are numerous firms: McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, or Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, right? Each offering slightly different products, but competing for the same customers. While they all sell burgers, fries, or beverages or pizza, they differentiate themselves through branding, through their taste and menu variations. In the short run, they may have some pricing power due to brand loyalty or unique offerings and all, but in the long run, new competitors will enter the market and erode their market power. Coming to oligopolistic competition, oligopoly, it is where few big companies control most of the market. And these companies watch what their competitors do very closely, especially when it comes to pricing. They might not always compete on price directly, especially if they are selling products that are hard to tell apart. Instead, they might focus on other ways to stand out, like offering unique features or better service. Consider the automobile industry, for example. There are a few large firms, right? Like Toyota, General Motors, Volkswagen. Or Hyundai. These are the few players who dominate the market. And these firms closely monitor each other's actions and often engage in strategic pricing decisions. For example, if one automaker reduces prices, then others may also follow suit to remain competitive. However, they may also focus on non-price competition, like offering warranties or financing options or advanced technology features to differentiate their products and attract customers, right? Then coming to perfect competition. There are lots of small companies in perfect competition who are selling the exact same thing, No one company has enough power to control the market or set the prices. Prices are set by the law of supply and demand, and companies have to make their products as efficiently as possible so as to stay competitive. Imagine in a farmer's market where multiple vendors sell identical fruits or vegetables. Then each vendor will have to offer the same product at similar prices, and customers also can easily switch between vendors based on price and quality. Since there are many small firms, none of them can influence the market price. Instead, they will be focusing on minimizing their cost and maximizing efficiency to stay competitive. In the long run, they will be earning only normal profits, and new vendors can also enter or exit the market freely without affecting the prices. So, whether a company chooses to compete on price or use any other tactic like advertising will depend on the market and what they are selling. So, in a monopolistic competition, companies will often compete on price because their products are so similar. But if it is an oligopolistic competition where companies might sell very similar products, then they might try to stand out in other ways. And for companies in monopolistic competition, it becomes important to make their products different enough so as to attract consumers or attract customers. They might do this by making their products look better or work better than their competitors. This helps them keep customers and make a profit even when there is a lot of competition. Like for example, I live in a village area and we have many vegetable sellers here. But there is one particular shop which we almost always goes to because their onions look prettier, their tomatoes look prettier, their potatoes are even shaped. And so that is a monopolistic competition. That is a perfect competition. Understanding these market structures help companies figure out the best way to set prices and make their products stand out. By using the right strategies, they can stay successful in the long term, and even in a competitive market, they can stay successful. Pricing decisions. These are again another crucial thing for businesses. Why? Because they directly impact the profitability and customer perception. There are various pricing strategies which firms can employ to adapt to the market and attract customers. For instance, penetration pricing. This involves offering low initial prices to gain market share quickly. On the other hand, premium pricing targets luxury buyers by setting higher prices to convey exclusivity and quality. The choice of pricing strategy depends on factors like the nature of the product, the target customers, and the competitive landscape. To gauge the market competitiveness, companies may use measures like concentration ratios or Herfindahl index. Price discrimination is another strategy where companies charge different prices to different groups based on their willingness to pay. This can involve tactics like peak load pricing or bundling different products together to cater to different segments and all. Multinational companies often use transfer pricing to manage transactions between branches in different countries, helping them allocate cost and maximize profits effectively. Price discrimination can take different forms also, like in tailoring prices to individual preferences or to the demographics. Auctions also provide another avenue for setting prices, particularly for unique or high demand items. In most Indian businesses, we have seen different prices for kids, for students, adults, and seniors. Like, for example, once I went to a food court in a very famous mall and I wanted to eat an ice cream. Okay, I had my kid with me, and the ice cream vendor had special prices for kids. You can imagine, right, where this is headed. I bought a kid size, and since my kid was very young and I had not introduced ice creams to him, naturally, you can wonder who ate it, right? So, have you done anything like this, or is it just me? So, the thing is, I did not want a regular adult size cup, right? The same, I just wanted one scoop. And if it is for a kid, they were offering it on a discount, so I naturally got it. Thankfully, I had my kid with me, right? So, that is the thing. So, amusement parks also utilize various pricing strategies, including flat fees or separate charges for entrance and rides, and offering season passes or group discounts. These decisions are all influenced by factors like the park's target customers and the competitive landscape in which they operate. Flexibility in pricing allows parks to cater to different customer segments while maximizing the revenue and providing a positive experience for their visitors. So with that, we have covered all the major aspects of managerial economics as was stipulated in MMPC 10 of IGNOU's MBA as per the new syllabus. Thank you so much for tuning into Anu's classroom. I hope this session was useful to you and you have subscribed to the channel and enabled the notifications. Let us catch up in the next session. Thank you so much and all the very best for your examinations.